It's Kara Dixon with Candid with Kara, and we are doing our interviews over Zoom because of coronavirus. We wish that we could meet with the candidates in person, but we are trying to do the next best thing, which is talk to them over the internet. So today we are joined with Vangie Williams. Vangie, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Rainy week down here in Norfolk, so I've been getting a lot of naps in, but other than that, doing okay. So Vangie, can you tell us what you are running for?
I am running for the 1st District of Virginia's congressional seat, second time run.
All right. And who is Vangie? How would you describe yourself to people who have never met you before?
Vangie is authentic. Vangie is a people person. Vangie is dedicated to making sure community comes first. Vangie is a mom of 6 daughters, a wife of 27 years, and a friend to really pretty much everybody in the district and related to almost everyone in the district.
So you must have a big family reunion.
Huge.
All right. And what made you want to run? You said this is your second time around. What made you want to run the first time, and what's making you want to try at it again?
So my daughter Lilia has a rare condition that I reached out to our current incumbent, won't mention his name, and asked for help back in 2007, 2008, and 2009. And got nothing but Xerox letters and I'm sorry, the congressman is not in. And it told me that we needed someone to step up and run for the people, that we needed a candidate in office who is 100% dedicated to people. So I decided back in actually 2015 to run, tore my Achilles tendon in 16 and said, if you can't walk, you can't run for Congress. And jumped in 17 because nothing had changed in 10 years. So jump forward. After only slightly losing last time, we came within 10 points. We had 45% to his 55. We had the highest number of votes since 1976 as a campaign in a non-presidential year and presidential year. So I was almost there. So I decided to run again because nothing had changed again. And now we see the difference between having a real leader and having a person in there who's pay to play. And I want to get in there and make sure that the people are always number one priority. It's not about how much money they're raising, who they're getting it from, but it is about how they're treating people. And for one thing, I say that because I'm not about going after people just for money. I would rather have your support with your verbalization of what you need and how I can get it for you than can I just have? And my Republican in office, he is about 90% corporate funded, where we are 0% corporate funded. So I want to show people the difference between him and a candidate or a person who represents them wholeheartedly. So that's why I'm back in.
What are some of the issues that you're most concerned about or that you're passionate about? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, even before COVID-19, my top issue was the economy, making sure that people can afford to have housing, transportation, education. They could retire and not go and work at a store as a greeter. I wanted to make sure that people had health care within the 1st District. Now, people say we have health care. Well, yes, we have health care, but for King George, Westmoreland, Lancaster, Northumberland, Matthews, it's a 45-minute to an hour drive to a hospital. And that is not how it's supposed to be. And even when you talk about health care insurance, a lot of people voted for Trump because they didn't want that individual mandate and the forcing of the insurance. It was like having car insurance with no car in certain areas of the district. Now it's like, okay, we can get insurance, but we have nowhere to go with it. So my focus is getting quality, affordable, accessible health care throughout the 1st District and rural communities across the country, because we need to make sure people are taken care of. And last but not least, I'm going to bunch this in one big lump. I want a new American economy. One of the things I've talked about for the last 3 years is my Invest initiative, where I want to invest in nurses, first responders, military men and women, and of course, our educators. These are our hometown heroes. Exempting the first $50,000 of their income from federal income tax and putting money back in their pockets. But I also want to focus on a new American economy that focuses on environment, transportation, infrastructure, manufacturing, and agriculture and aquaculture, because we need to bring American jobs back here. Let's let labor come back in, labor unions come back in and build this country back up in an employment force, which will solve the economy problem and the healthcare problem. So my issues are strong. They've become stronger over the last 3 years. And I want to take it to Capitol Hill so we can get the job done.
All right. Are you ready for the rapid fire questions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. First question. What is the biggest issue our country is facing?
Economy and jobs. Biggest. Without the economy and jobs, we can't get people on equal footing. And also having a livable wage and wrapped in that. If we get a livable wage for every man and woman, and I got to say child, because you have some minors who are working now, we can change how Americans live their daily lives.
Okay, next question, kind of like the first one. What is the biggest issue the Commonwealth is facing?
Same things. We have an issue with economy and jobs. I live in King George. We don't have a thriving small business force. If we bring in small business and push that economy up, we become a dynamic nation again.
All right. And you kind of already talked about this, but if you're elected, what do you hope to get accomplished?
First things first, get our economy and our jobs back in full force, and making sure that we get health care to every American citizen, making sure that everyone understands that they are worth just as much as the 1%ers.
Okay. Next question. What can people living in Virginia do to make it a better place? Like, how can they work to make it a better place?
Become active. Socially active in ways of joining some of the groups that are out there supporting people. Actually, there are so many groups out there that individual can become a part of that they have no reason to say that they aren't a part of. Between the NAACP, individual groups, Voice, you name it. There are so many groups. Moms Demand Action. We have so many things that people can get involved in, and talk to your neighbor. Be there for your neighbor and vote. Vote is number one. Take control of your life, not let someone else decide.
Okay, and now we got the easier questions. What is your favorite book?
You know what? It's so funny you asked that. My husband calls me the boredest person in life. This book is called Women's Focusing the Past, Women's America. This book is so cool. It talks about women in politics, women in history, and how they've shaped America. This is a book for any woman and man to read. And the reason I say that, as a mother of 6 daughters, you got to know where you come from before you can go forward. And that book has been tremendous in guiding me and making me a stronger woman. So kudos to, the author. I'll give you the author's name. It's a whole bunch of them. All women. Linda Kerber, Jane Sharon DeHart, Cornelia Hughes Dayton. Check the book out. It is awesome.
If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be and why?
Okay, so this happened already a couple of times. I've met Rosa Parks. I've met Coretta Scott King, and they were 2 dynamic women. I met about 2 years ago, John Lewis, dynamic again. If I could meet anyone now, I would have to say, and I know it's so cheesy, I would love to meet Oprah Winfrey, just to ask her, what do you do for your spare time? Because she's like all over the place. But in history, oh my gosh, Queen Elizabeth. I would love to, if I could go back in time, I would love to meet some of our women leaders who sacrificed everything to make it great for us today, and tell them, hey, look, Kara and I, we're knocking out that glass ceiling, and we're going to knock it out so that we won't have a glass ceiling or a black glass ceiling, so that women can excel in this country. So I would have to go back to women leaders, period.
Yeah.
You know, quantum leaping.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
You're there for like 30 seconds. You meet him. Gotta go.
Oh, thank you.
That would be like a funny like TV episode or something. Just like
Would be awesome.
yeah.
Hey, I just met Mother Teresa.
Like, what? Yeah.
Princess Di. Actually, Princess Di is a great person to meet. Her humanitarian efforts were astonishing.
Yeah.
So totally, it's so many.
I would want to meet her too. I remember I dressed up in second grade as her for our class. Like we had to come as a character, or not a character, but someone in history. And I was Princess Di in second grade. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now we got a young African American princess. So
yes, Meghan Markle. I love Meghan Markle. So
yes.
So last question: when you were growing up, what did you want to be and why?
So I grew up in a really different kind of atmosphere where I had my mom, who was a single mother, and my mother's mother and my mother's father, who decided they wanted to take me back and forth to Westmoreland and back and forth to Spartanburg, South Carolina. And growing up, I wanted to be a business owner, but I wanted to be a farmer. And I wanted to raise horses and exotic pets. And I wanted to be a veterinarian. Then as I got older, the veterinarian went to the side. The farmer in me is still here. I just planted a new garden. But I still want to be a farmer. I still want to raise horses. But I always wanted to be a business owner. I said, I'm going to be a CEO one day. And I've done that. And now I'm like, okay, what do you do next? But growing up, my grandparents told me I could do anything I want, be anybody I want, and make sure I show other people that they can be a leader in anything they do. So it stuck with me. Strong, strong grandparents. Really strong. But yeah, so I'm pretty much doing what I said I was going to do. And I'm still going to get my farm and raise some big old trees and not so much vegetables anymore, but maybe an orchard so that I can feed some people and make sure people have food in their bellies all the time. It's like a life choice.
Yeah. So you're a movie buff. Have you been watching any new movies or anything? Or have you seen, I saw, the last movie I saw in theater was 1917, which was really good.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
I would love a movie like that done where it's that straight shot on a figure in history, it emphasizing Black America. Mm-hmm. Like I wish we could talk to John Lewis and ask John Lewis, hey, can you give us the day that Martin Luther King died, just from top to bottom, because he was there when I spoke with him. He said he was with him literally for 24 hours. And to see that done in a biopic like that, where it's nonstop, I think people will get how much he did that day in 24 hours before he died. And I think they will understand, all the noise, about what he possibly could have done could be put to the side. Let's talk about what he really did and see how we can carry that on, that legacy on now that we seem like we're going backwards in time. I see so much change. I mean, I think 1917 opened our eyes to how to do a video, how to do a real movie. And I want to know, this producer, phenomenal. I was mad the character I liked died.
Oh, spoiler!
I'm shocked. Well, actually, my husband was not shocked. He was like, I knew that was going to happen. I was like,
I knew it, yeah.
I was like, no, you didn't. Because you think, never mind. I can't spoil a movie. I was like,
I met John Lewis actually back when I was in college. I went to the National Press Club and he was there talking.
Right.
Didn't get a picture. Well, we got a picture with him, but some stranger took it. So someone out there has a photo of
Oh my God.
myself and my two other friends with John Lewis, and they said they were going to send it to us. They never sent it. So
Oh my gosh.
whoever was at the National Press Club in like I think it was like 2014 or 2013, and
Oh
if
my.
you're watching this, send it. Please send it because it's out there somewhere. So
I went up there to meet with him and just talk with him. And I have probably about 30 pictures of us, and it's one picture, and we're looking at one wall, and we're talking about Martin Luther King, the day he died. This was the balcony. And then we talked about other pictures around the room. And it wasn't until we got out to the balcony and we were looking at the Capitol that he actually almost got, well, he made my team break down. He almost got me to just completely lose it. And I was like, I'm ready for Congress. I won't cry in front of this man. This would not be a good thing. But he reminded me who I was. And I don't know if you know this, but once I win, because I'm claiming it, I'll be the first woman of color to represent Virginia on Capitol Hill. And he told me, respect that, use that to improve the lives of every Black American in the country. And he said, remember, you're in Virginia. You're in the first district of the country.
mm-hmm.
He said, Delaware might be the first state, but this is the first district of the country. And I was like, wow.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or?
You know, I think right now this is a day and age where we as people of color, and I mean that in totality, are targeted now for almost every type of not niceness. I'm not going to say it's always hate. Sometimes it's just what people don't know. I think we need to kind of re-educate America on who we are as a people, whether you're Black, Asian, Blasian, or Hispanic, or what have you. It does not matter. We need to start re-teaching kids because I actually had a neighbor tell me that she was in the grocery store and a young man of not color called her out of her name. And she said, why would you call me that? And he was like, because all Black people are lazy. And she said, well, what made you think that? Oh, because my dad told me. And it's conversations like that that we need to start having TV shows that show how we all get along as a people. America is only great as the people in it. And I am so ready for the next generation to come out and our future leaders and be who we were heading to be. And I know that our current president is probably one of the reasons, well, the main reason that we're going through this, but we shouldn't be. My family has been in this country, in this district where I'm sitting right now since 1649. And they built this country. When I say I'm related to almost everyone in this district, I'm related to George Washington, Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis. Okay, I'm not going to tell you some of the other ones down in Kentucky. You know who I'm talking about. I'll be glad when he's voted out. But I'm related to so many people, Black, white, and other. I call myself, when somebody asks me what race am I, truly, I'm American. I'm a Black, white, Southeast Asian American woman. And I'm proud of my heritage. And I think that I shouldn't be judged on it, whether it's for this job or any job, nor should anyone else. But we have to get that conversation started back up. And it's time we need leaders to step up and take the bull by the horns and guide us back into that nice country that we felt safe in. No more gunning us down on the streets. No more stepping over us when you see something's wrong. And no more using us to get where you want to go and pushing us aside. It's time. So.
Yeah. So how can people learn more about you?
Please go to my website, VangieForCongress.com. Or if you want to talk to me directly, please email me directly, Vangie@VangieForCongress.com. And by all means, call me on the campaign line. They patch you right through to me. They have no problem doing that now. Of course, if you have my cell phone number already, you probably already know it, but it's 540-216-4351. If you want to talk to me, if you have an issue, if you need something in the community, reach out to me. Let's talk, because it's time we're heard.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. I hope you had fun.
Thank you. I had a great time.